How would you feel if you could have all of your photos organized in one place and you could easily find the photo that you were searching for when you needed it? I know your photo library isn't in that state at the moment, but believe me, we can certainly get it to that point. In this video, I'm going to share the 6 steps I use to organize my own and my clients' photo libraries. Follow along, implement the steps, and you'll soon have a manageable photo library too. This video focuses on the steps to organize your digital photo library, but if you need help or more information about organizing your printed photo libraries, please let me know in the comments because I can certainly make a video on that as well. Step 1 is to gather your photos. Your digital photos are likely spread across multiple computers, cloud drives, external hard drives, USB sticks, mobile phones, and more. The first step is to gather them all into the one place. Now for that, I normally use an external hard drive. A solid state drive is best, and make sure it's at least 1 terabyte. When you've got one, copy all of the photos from all of those different devices into here. For now, don't worry about whether you've already copied what's on your SD card onto your computer. Simply gather everything from every source onto the hard drive, and we'll sort out the duplicate photos in the next step. So then step 2 is deduplicating your photos. Okay, so this sounds way more tedious than it needs to be. There's some amazing deduplicating software out there that's going to save you a ton of time on this step. We are not doing it manually. I will leave my favorites linked in the caption below. They aren't free, but they're not expensive either, and they are so worth the money if you ask me. Once you've downloaded your software, run it at almost an exact match. Just take it down a couple of notches so that it finds some that are almost the same but not quite. Now this can take hours. If you've got a large photo library, I recommend turning it on before you go to bed or before you finish up on your computer for the day and letting it run overnight, then coming back and dealing with the results in the morning. When the software has finished finding all of the duplicates, it will give you a big long list of all the duplicated files. Generally speaking, I will get rid of the smallest file or the lowest resolution, or ones that haven't been pre-sorted into album names. So say for instance, you've got a bunch from your computer that said Europe trip and you've got a bunch of photos in there, but they're also showing as coming from your SD card as well. Those ones haven't been sorted into an album with the name of Europe trip. So if we keep them in the photo library, they're going to have a bit less information, they're going to take a bit longer to sort out. So I would recommend deleting the ones on the SD card, leaving the ones that came from the computer. And then we're on to step 3, which is sorting your photos. Once you know that you have only 1 copy of each photo in your photo library, we can go ahead and sort them into folders in chronological order. Don't worry, there's also Photo that will help you shortcut this process. Again, it's not free, but it's not expensive, and it is totally worth the small cost to save you a ton of time. So like I said, I sort my photos into yearly folders. Some of my clients prefer them inside months, inside the years. Whichever one is right for you is right for you. You decide, and then go ahead and set your sorting software to file your photos into each month or each year. Now something you need to know is that your sorting software won't work for photos that have no or an incorrect date taken in their metadata. That means that photos that have been scanned, or sometimes that have been sent to you, or have been taken on a camera where the date hasn't been set first, will be sorted into the wrong spot. So what we're going to do is separate all of those out first. So move them into a folder separately, run the sorting software on the rest, and then you can manually file the other ones based on what's going on in the photos, or how old people look in the photos, etc. Step 4 is adding keywords to your photos. Adding keywords is my magical way of making your photo library searchable. I've got keywords for all the important people in my photo library, as well as important events like Noah's first birthday, Europe trip, Christmas, any other holidays, etc. Any kind of event that you might want to search for, or any kind of person or thing that you might want to search for, create keywords. And then use those keywords to tag the photos so that they are searchable. Now, if you had already done heaps of sorting in the past, it might actually be best to do the keywording as step 3 and the sorting as step 4, because you've got everything sorted into albums, and those album names are likely to be the keywords that you will tag your photos with. So before you sort them out of those folders and into chronological order, I would tag all the photos with those keywords. If you hadn't already done any sorting in the past, then I would go ahead and do the sorting first and the keywording next, because then all of your photos are going to be in chronological order. So all the photos from a certain event would be together. You can just highlight them all and tag them with the one event name as your keyword. It's also at this point that I go through and declutter. While you're adding your keywords, if there's any photos that no longer spark joy, just go ahead and hit the delete key. Yes, it is totally fine to delete photos, especially ones that no longer mean anything to you or won't mean anything to future generations who are likely to inherit your photo library. So you can delete food photos, you can delete sunset photos, you can delete landscape photos, you can delete photos of the car park where you parked your car and you just wanted to remember where you could find your car at Christmas time in the shops. Go ahead and delete any that don't spark joy anymore. It could save you a ton of space and therefore a ton of money in storage. I did this in just 1 year of photos and saved 10 gig of space. Imagine that across all of your years of photos. It's going to be a heap of space, and it could mean that maybe if you put this in a cloud later, you can drop down a tier in the storage. And speaking of cloud, we're on to step 5, which is share, because now we've got our photos deduplicated, organized and searchable, but they're all stuck on an external hard drive and you can't show off your babies or your fur babies to your bestie when you run into them at the shops. To make the photos accessible from your phone while you're out and about, I highly suggest copying all of the photos from your external hard drive and popping them onto a cloud drive. Now please don't use Google Photos for this, because it is incredibly hard to get photos out of Google Photos. Some of my clients use Dropbox or OneDrive because they've already got the accounts with them and it's easiest to just keep using them, but I do not love their privacy settings. I personally use Sync, and I will link it below, because I love their privacy settings a whole lot more. I don't like the Dropbox or OneDrive can go through your stuff at any time and can use it for marketing at any time, even after you delete your photos. So yes, I use Sync. They still have all the same features, just a lot better privacy. Whichever cloud drive you choose, copy your photos onto it, but make sure you leave the originals back on that external hard drive as well. Which brings me to step 6, the final step, the most important step. It is to back up your photos, because we don't want to do all of this hard work and then hard drive crashes and you've lost all of it. Believe me, it happens. It's why I have no photos from my high school years, although that part's maybe not such a bad thing. So backing up, the gold standard for backups is the 3-2-1 method. That is at least 3 copies on at least 2 devices, and at least one of them is off-site. Because imagine if you had 3 copies in your home and then a fire tore through and you lost all of them. So we keep one off-site as well. Now what does that look like? For me, it is a copy on my external hard drive. That's my originals, that's where I did my sorting, and they stay there. Then I have that hard drive backed up to another hard drive, and that is a nightly backup. It backs up every day. And then I have a cloud backup service, and that is a continuous backup. It is always backing up any changes I make. But it also has file history, so if I make any changes, if I accidentally delete something, I have up to 30 days to go back to that cloud backup service and retrieve that file or photo. Now, cloud backup service is normally separate to your cloud viewing service. They are 2 different services. So I've got Sync for my viewing and sharing, but I have Backblaze for my backing up, and I will pop them down below as well. They are a favorite amongst us photo managers. They're very reliable, and yes, I have had to retrieve a few files from there over the 2 or so years that I have been using it. So I'm very grateful that it exists, that I have it. Again, not a free service, but totally worth the money. And that is it. Those are the 6 steps to organizing your digital photo library. Check out the caption below for all the links you'll need to all of those software options. There's a few extra links in there that will be helpful as well. And please leave me a comment if you found this video helpful or if you have any questions. and let me know how your photo projects are going. If you need any extra help, I do offer done for you services, so you can check those out on my website, again linked below. And if you happen to be on the Gold Coast, I also run group co-working sessions where we organize our photos together. I am there obviously to give you a hand and help you through any roadblocks that you might hit. So if you'd like to come to that as well, I will link that below too. They are a monthly session, they go for 3 hours, but they're unstructured, so just drop in whenever you like. And I'm there to help answer all the questions. Good luck and reach out if you need a hand.